they asked me to go over they asked me to go over the business manual, or the systems business manual tonight, and I'm gonna do that. But I just wanted to share that with you, that when you set your mind to it, really set your mind to it and set some goals and make it happen, because I'm living proof. If I can do this, anybody out there can. And I think that there's a lot of people out there. A lot of them come to mind right now. I don't know if I want to name names or not, but there's a bunch of them out there that are hungry. They're after it. And I think that my record can fall easily. I really do, with some of the folks I know that are in this organization. So with that, I appreciate all the kind words, and I am humbled, and I'm proud. But this is a pretty cool day, and I want to just I'm going to share my screen here and jump into the business manual if I can. I should know how to do this by now, Whoops, what is that? I don't need that, whatever that is.
I thought you had it open.
All right, I don't know where all that went. So, all right, can you guys see that? I guess I can't hear you back. I'm hoping you can see that. So they wanted me to talk about the business manual a little bit.
You see a white screen.
And I want to introduce a term that Tasha has coined for me. It's called failing forward. And I think I'm getting to be an expert at failing forward, but that means just going out there, getting out of your comfort zone and learning as you're going. You got a team behind you of leaders that are just incredible. And I really strongly suggest that
We see a white screen.
Who sees a white screen?
Tasha just sent me a text.
Everybody just sees a white screen.
All right, how do I get my screen share?
Your screen sharing.
So your screen share should be highlighted in what you're sharing.
Yeah, it says you are screen sharing.
You are sharing something.
All right, hang on. I'll start this. I hope I can get this to work. Otherwise, I'm gonna be.
Tasha says share desktop.
All right, I'll try this again. Share screen. Can I do this one? How's that?
There we go.
All right. Yeah, it threw a whiteboard up there for me. I'm not sure what that was all about, but they wanted me to go over this business system manual. And you guys know, once I get to yapping, I have a hard time quieting down. But one thing Tasha mentioned there was to be coachable. And when I sat down and really decided that I was gonna commit to this and tie into it, I made up my mind that I was going to do exactly what it says. I mean, Mr. Webb designed a program here that has been proven to be absolutely successful if you followed it word for word, number for number. And there's no sense me, with my limited knowledge, trying to change or improve or modify anything that man did. It's absolutely incredible. And when I sat down to really do this, I did go literally step by step through the fast start, the smart start, and the business manual as well. But I would hope that that this should be like reading Little Mermaid to your children for about the 15th time. I think everybody should be well familiar with this subject and this manual. And if you're not, I implore you to go take a look at it. It's an absolutely outstanding document. But so I'm just going to tie into this a little bit here. I don't know how far I'll get. I don't know if somebody's watching me on the clock tonight, or we might be out till morning. But 4 steps to building a successful business. The plan that it says, find the plan that works, and you're looking at it right here. It's in your back office, tells you every single thing that you need to do. and if you're going to build a successful business, I don't think you need to modify this at all. I think it's right there in front of you. Duplicate it over and over. That pretty much goes without saying. That's how this thing's designed to be successful. Lead by example. I kind of give some training on that here a couple weeks ago. I tried to do that. It's a pretty simple concept. If you do it first, don't expect your team to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. And try to set a good example. Try to set a work ethic. Be to your meetings on time. Be enthusiastic. Throw a little humor in there if you can once in a while. Break the walls down. Recognize accomplishments. Give compliments once in a while. You might have to do a little bit of constructive criticism sometimes. Not easy to do where you got a good friend and you say, hey, I have a few suggestions that may help you here. But lead by example. You do it first, and they'll follow you. And whatever example you set is what you can expect your entire organization, that you can expect them to do the same thing. That's, I think, is big as well. It says, think big, be visionary, and expect to win. Man, those are strong words right there. That's almost going back to my Gary LeFew quote. Think big, be visionary, and expect to win. Know what you want. Have the desire to go do it. Don't let anything stand in your way. Just like the coin I got says, anything, whatever it takes, do it, because this is really, really, really worth doing. I mean, you can be as successful as you want. I think Mr. Webb mentioned one time, you treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. Treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. My world exploded, and I think I was fortunate with the people that I contacted and got on my team with me. I give a heck of a bunch of credit out to those people. My brother, Melinda, Brian Farr, Justin, all of them. I mean, they're my daughter. They're it just isn't going to happen without them. So take care of them. Be a good leader for them. Step one here in this thing is prospecting. I got a funny story about how this works. I have been really, really jamming for the last couple of months, really hard. And not only with Common Sense Financial, but I've been flying to Seattle and renting cars and driving around doing auctions on weekends and coming back here, and I'm in the middle of a water right battle down in Idaho with some land I purchased, and attorneys are giving me deadlines for discovery and all kinds of stuff that I've been working on outside of this. I've been putting in about, 12 or 13, 14-hour days for about the last month and a half. But I went down to Seattle and I went to rent a car, and you don't need to have a human to rent a car anymore. There was a guy standing there, and his job was to show people how to run the kiosk that had probably taken 15 jobs out of that particular building there. And I asked him about that. I said, so your job now is to show people how to run this machine that took everybody's job away. And he goes, yeah, and he was pretty energetic about it. And I had my cowboy hat in a hat box, and he looked at it and he said, what's in your box there? Then I told him, I said, it's my pet rattlesnake. He doesn't travel very good. He kind of jumped back a little bit, and I said, no, I'm just messing with you. I said, I'm an auctioneer. This is my cowboy hat, and I'm doing an auction out in Sammamish tonight. And he says, man, I need to find a gig, a side gig like that. And I said, are you serious? And he goes, I am serious. And I said, well, I give him a kind of a abbreviated version of Common Sense Financial. And I said, if you want to take control of your life and how much you want to make and whatever, and have a little bit of work ethic. And I said, give me your number and I will reach out to you and see just how serious you are. And he did give me his number. And then everybody went to Hawaii and I haven't had a chance to even call him back yet, but I'm going to call him, and I think he's probably going to be a great prospect. It's that simple. It's really that simple. I talked to another guy that was sitting next to me on the airplane going down there about the same thing. So you can divide up your prospecting into 5 areas. You can read them here: natural market, friendship farming. Natural market is pretty easy, and I think that's what you hear referred to as your hot market or your warm market or whatever. But and man, don't discount somebody. Don't discount them. If you think there's no way this guy is going to be interested in what we're doing or what we're offering or the business part of it or anything else, man, don't prejudge him. It might be a Ron Nelson sitting there. It might be a guy that takes 6 months to come around, but when they do, they could be your gold vein in your hard rock mining operation. That's how I look at Common Sense. I was like, it has ups and downs, and you dig along, and man, you're in the good ore, and then the vein runs out, and you kind of go through a lull for a while, and then move over and start at it again, and just never quit digging, and man, you'll pick it up again. It's amazing. It's like a spider web of, you don't know where it's going to go or what it's going to do for you. So don't discount those people. Friendship farming, that's pretty easy to do as well. I don't know. I try to be real, and I don't try to be pushy or anything like that. But you can introduce them to it and say, I have some information that I think could be really beneficial for you. In fact, I think you ought to take the time to attend an appointment, and we'll set one up if you want, and see the same thing I saw. Relationship marketing through a third-party referral system. Not even sure what that is, I guess, but I will tell you that my world took off pretty hard, and I had to play catch up a little bit when my teammates started really hammering things just like I had, and then all of a sudden I found myself in a trainer role, where that's where I defined this term failing forward, because I don't mind failing for myself, but it bugs the heck out of me when somebody's dependent on me for their success. And I'm a kind of a perfectionist, I guess. You think?
Yeah.
Wife thinks, she agreed with that one. But it really bugged me when I wasn't completely comfortable with everything that I was doing, and somebody else's success was dependent on that. But that third party referral deal, you talk to somebody that does a policy, ask them, and I kind of forget to do this on occasion, but ask them, say, if you liked what you saw, which they obviously did, they got a policy. Do you know anybody else in your circle that could benefit from this same information? And I think that is a pretty underutilized technique for really expanding your contact list. And I need to make a note when I'm doing these presentations to ask that question. Especially these guys that you just get done with an application with. Ask them. It ain't gonna hurt anything to ask them. But just simply ask them. Do you know of anybody else, do you think, in your family or your friends or coworkers or whatever, that you think could benefit from this, like we are? And I really think that the number of clients that could come out of that prospecting trick or whatever you want to call it would be astounding. I think there'd be a lot of people doing that. Professional prospecting, I've never done that. I have a guy that I work with up here in Alaska. In fact, he's on tonight, Lauren. I think Lauren Fanter. I think he got a hold of a TikTok video that I'm pretty interested in seeing what that was, and it might even be a common sense financial person that put that together. I don't know. I haven't mined that out yet, but I have never used professional prospecting, websites, ads, whatever. I've done everything pretty personable, and in person. So, but if you guys are skookum on that sort of stuff, and it's an approved method of doing it, man, knock yourself out. Anything you can do to move your success forward, I strongly suggest that you do. Company leads. I think I've had a few where, where they call up and say, hey, we're looking for a trainer to help us out here in short order. 2 hours, Cameron, 2 hours, 2.5 maybe. But we made it work. But I mean, use any leads to prospect that you can think of. I don't know what they really want me to talk about other than what has kind of worked for me, but so I already talked about that. Ad names, don't eliminate them. It might be a stubborn old cowboy named Ron Nelson sitting there that's gonna just launch your business. You never know. I thought this memory jogger was kind of funny. Where's the one I was looking at? It said tanning, number 155, tanning. When I read that as hide tanning.
Wrong.
I don't think that's what it was for, but I do think this here's kind of important. This complete your top 25 list. The people that we're looking for, you kind of want to pay attention to this because otherwise you can, I think you can hurt yourself a little bit, whether it be on size of the contract or even the business aspect or whatever. But 25 plus years old is good, though I've had several that are younger than that I'm pretty impressed with as individuals. Married, dependent children, homeowner, solid business career background, 40,000 plus household income. I mean, you may not be able to gauge that all the time, but this is the kind of folks, that you're looking for to be successful. I do know that, and it'll happen faster if you kind of stay in this group if you can. Folks that are dissatisfied with their current situation, entrepreneurial minded. When you read that and somebody comes to mind, write their name down and make it a point to go contact them. I know when I was doing this, I found every reason, and making phone calls is not comfortable. It just isn't. I'll just throw that out there. We all know that. And I could make every phone call or every excuse not to go make phone calls that you can imagine. I mean, I fed the dogs when it wasn't time to feed the dogs. I
Forgot to feed the dog.
It was time to throw frisbee for the dog, or a favorite TV show was on, or man, it was just nice out, or I had to go. Well, I did have to go sweep snow off an airplane, something. I mean, there was a million excuses that you can come up with to not go up to your office or into some quiet place and make a few phone calls and get your business going. And again, it comes back to, are you committed to it? You made the decision. It's not going to just get handed to you. I don't know of much in life that is. But I remember Lori was actually still working at the time, hadn't retired yet. And I I'd be down there and I'd wander around, and I'd go in and I'd tell her, I said, all right, I'm doing it, right?
Mhm.
I said, I'm doing it. I'm going up and I'm not quitting until I got 5 appointments scheduled. And I'd come up here and we've all heard the stories where you're all nervous and you don't want to do it. And, nobody likes being told no. And actually I've only had 3 phone calls that gave me a no, and they all happened really early. And I called Tasha. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. I've got like 3 no's in a row. And she jumped on with me and we went over a few things, and pretty much right out of this manual that you're looking at. And I can honestly tell you, I haven't had a no since we had that conversation. But it's the heartbeat of your organization. It's the heartbeat of your company, and it's the heartbeat of your success. So don't make the dang excuses. Just do it. Pretty much as simple as I can do. Approach and contact. I think, well, I know for a fact my brother and I and Melinda and this wild bunch I have working for me, we do this a little different than probably we should. I don't know. But I like being real, and this is me, and my brother is him, and I don't try to be fake or make somebody think that I'm something I'm not. I know my daughter has a tattoo on her wrist says, be true to yourself, and I don't want somebody thinking different of me than I really am. And I think that helps. I think that it generates trust. I think that it breaks down walls and barriers. You can still be professional and all that, but when you approach people, be real, be genuine, and develop that trust, develop that rapport. And I love some of the stuff here in this manual. But when you're talking to people, it's easy to use the form system. Talk to them. They're much more comfortable telling you about themselves than they are listening to about you. Ask them about their family, their children, where they live, where they grew up, what they do for a living, how long they've been doing it, how do they like it, have they thought about doing something different, what do they like to do for fun. Some of the things you'll hear will amaze you. And I like throwing in that story that Tasha just told. When I get on a call, I tell them I was probably, if not the most difficult, skeptical individual this company's ever ran into. I was certainly in the top 5. And I got the same phone call you're getting, and I watched the same presentation that I'm really pleased to show you. And in fact, I liked it so well after I understood it that not only became a client, I actually went and got licensed in my retirement years and went to work for them so that I could share the same thing with you guys. And I tell them that right up front. Another thing I do, I don't know whether it's right or wrong or not, is I tell them I'm not going to sell you anything. That's not what I'm doing. I tell them a little story about a guy that I think Tasha was on the call, possibly. We went through the entire initial appointment, and and at the end, I asked him. I said, do you have any questions or anything, any concerns, questions, things that are bugging you? And he goes, yeah. And I said, what's that? And he said, well, what's your sales pitch? Where's the hook? I was like, I don't have a sales pitch or a hook. And so I tell them, I'm going to give you some information that has benefited me and my family and a bunch of my friends now greatly. And I think it can benefit you in the same way. And what you decide to do with that information is completely up to you. And it just sets everything at ease. They listen to what you're saying. They ask questions, they engage. And I don't know if that's a right or wrong technique, but it works pretty well for me. Tasha, if I'm getting myself in trouble, let me know, would you? Because it's probably not in the system business manual here. So relationship, friendship borrowing. I like the STEAM method as well. Sales, who do you know that's a good salesperson? I mean, if you think about that, what's going?
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Really? I never have enough time to do this. So the STEAM concept, sales, who do you know that's a great salesperson? Who comes to mind when you read that? Teacher. You know, at my age, most of mine are probably, I doubt
Have
if
a couple.
there may be some still alive. I don't know. Enthusiastic. Who's the most enthusiastic person you know? Who's the most A personality, always happy, enthusiastic, positive person you know? Get a hold of him or her. Ambitious. You know, who do you know who really wants to be a success? And I mean, really ardently desires that. Who do you know that's like that comes to mind? Get a hold of them, get them on your team. At least approach them and give them the option. Money motivated. You know, everybody knows somebody that needs a little more money or a little more income or a little more security, or you know, everything's getting so expensive. Think about those things. And when you get this friendship borrowing thing, you can look at this table, you know, with number of sales and then referrals and the closing ratio, and what can happen to your team is absolutely mind-blowing in this organization. It seriously is. I like being enthusiastic. I'm naturally kind of bold, I guess. I think a lot of that comes from being a twin, because you know, we were kind of always I don't know if we were the center of attention or not, but we thought we were. So we're pretty bold, and I like doing that. One thing at the end of the initial appointment that I like to do when we get done with everything, right before that slide comes up, I said, so you know, this is the IUL with all the 5 characteristics, and your savings tied to a market index and protected by taxes by that dirty word life insurance and all that. And then I said, so I have a question for you. And they'll kind of look at your pause a little bit, and then I hit the slide where it comes up and says, can you see a need for a plan like this? And I usually throw in your personal circumstances or something like that. And they'll be like, yeah, you know, I can. And I'll be like, awesome, I certainly could as well. And then I'll say, I'm going to totally switch gears, and I do the whole switch gears thing, and I go into the business aspect of it, and I say, hey, I want to show you an opportunity that's in front of you right now. And it's one that I'm taking advantage of. It's one that, you know, whoever the trainee is on there is taking advantage of. And I think I want to show you as well. So I have a question. You know, let's say you continue doing exactly what you're doing, don't change anything, but you and I, or you and whoever the trainee is, make 3 calls a week. How many of them do you think could be interested in doing business like this? And they'll say whatever number they say. They'll say, you know, 2 or 3, or if you ask them how many of them do you think would be interested, they'll say, oh, you know, 3. And I like saying this. I like saying, absolutely. You know, I mean, if they have any brains at all, you would think all 3 of them would be interested, right? Well, I didn't just say that I didn't think they had any brains, but I did infer that if you don't think this is a good business plan, it's bold. I mean, it throws it out there, lets them know, and gives them something to think about. I do that again. That's not in the business manual, but it's something I do. So I'll probably get fired from Tasha and Mike here after this training. I don't know. But another thing that was happening to me when I first committed to this was that I was given these prospects way too much information. It was information that I wasn't prepared to answer, and it you know, they saw my excitement, and then we would get into a conversation that was too dang long. And then it gets into a question answer thing, and I'm stuttering and stammering, and I don't know how to respond to them. And man, don't let that happen. Just keep it pretty brief. And I know a lot of these in-person ones, that's difficult to control, but don't get into an extensive questions and answer thing. Defer that somehow. You know, like, I have a really difficult time explaining all this to you. I'm still in training, but let's just set a time where we can get somebody that can answer all your questions like you want them answered, and let's get them on the line and show you what we're doing. The schedule an appointment with husband and wife, I think that one is important as well, really important, because if you don't, you're gonna have to backtrack, and you're gonna have to pick up the spouse or the dog or whoever they're trying to confer with to make a decision. You might as well have them both there at the same time. And really, if they can't make it together, I've done it, and I think I've actually been successful a time or two, but it knocks your success percentage in the dirt when you don't have both decision makers present to hear the whole thing. And this master the script, I know when I don't know how far they want me to go. How much time do I get?
You got about 9 minutes.
9 minutes. I can do this one too. So this mastering the script, I think is important. I went through this thing, and this really didn't sound like me, but I used it almost verbatim for a while, and it works perfectly. It works just like it was designed to. Couple of things that my brother and I have, and Melinda and some of the others on my team have implemented since, is we like personalizing this a little bit, and it's simple, and we like, so two things that we're doing is, one is a sense of urgency, which this has in it, and the other one is make it personal. And I've modified this, not a whole bunch, but I have modified it. So I might make a phone call, be like, hey, this Ron Nelson, and they're like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, good. Hey, I only have a minute. It might be the wife just put dinner on or whatever it might be, but I only have a quick minute. But I wanted to get a hold of you. I said, I have been introduced to some financial information that has been extremely beneficial to me and my family. And when I heard it, I actually thought about you. And I want to share it with you. In fact, I liked it so well, I went to work for the company. It's Common Sense Financial. I'm in their training program right now. But when I heard this presentation, I thought about you, and I'd like to set an appointment where you could hear the same thing that I just heard, because I think it can help you just like it helped me. What's a good day for you? What's your days off? Monday, Tuesday, whatever. Go from there. But a little bit of urgency and making it personal. I've never, and not giving them too much information, I think is one of the keys to really making this thing run like you want it to run. And I know when we hire a new agent, Tasha did this to me, I'm doing it to mine. They'll probably do it to theirs. You go through the business partner meeting, and you give them their first tax deduction under Common Sense Financial with their registration fee, and they're like, all right, let's make some calls. And you can see blood drain out of people's face, and I'm not ready. I don't have a list. I don't have here comes all those excuses. And it's important, I think, to just baptism by fire, throw them right in. And and I'll make them before we do it. I'll sit there and I'll say, hey, do a presentation to me, or do a schedule an appointment with me. And I'll be sitting there, and they'll be looking at me, and I'll say hello, and then I just make them go. And then we talk about it. I was all right, let's do another one. Hello. Oh, yeah, and they get kind of comfortable with it, do it over 2 or 3 times. I do have a funny story about that if I don't run out of time here.
Okay.
So Earl Lumen, he's on here. Great guy, hell of a mechanic, actually. Rebuilt my truck out here in the garage a couple weeks ago. But wheel bearings, but he signs up as a new agent under my daughter Timbra. And he comes over to the house actually, and we come up here to the office. We made we talked about things and went through things and like this. And then I said, all right, let's make some calls. And I think he had five names or something. Two of them didn't answer. We booked 3. So today, in fact, it was my first call after I'd been notified that I had made partner. This is terrible. So so Earl and I get on.
That was last night.
Oh, it was yesterday. I guess it was yesterday. So we get on and we make this call, and it's 6:00 p.m. Alaska time. And we call this guy, and he gets on the phone. Well, he was having trouble. My link wasn't active. I don't know what that was, whether he hadn't downloaded the Zoom client or whatever, but he was having trouble with the Zoom link. And it worked for Earl, worked for me, didn't work for him. And finally I was like, I'm gonna call him up, and see if I can help him get on the Zoom with us. And I called him up, and I'm not gonna use the curse words. I call him up and he's like, hey, I don't know what kind of this is, but I'm not into this high pressure sales stuff, and I'm not interested in making phone calls, and I'm tired and I want to go to bed, and I don't know what kind of a deal this is, but I'm not in. He said, I have money that I want to move out of a 401k, and I just want to set it and forget it. Just send me a brochure or a prospectus and I'll look at it. But right now I'm tired and I'm going to bed. Click. And I was like, what? First appointment call for the new agent. And I really didn't even know how to respond. I was sitting there with my mouth gaped open. I was like, I can't believe that happened. And so I told him, I said, this isn't how they normally go. Normally it's a lot of fun, and so late this morning, I get a phone call from that guy, and he calls up. Oh, and he also he said, I'm nobody to mess with, or something like that as well. And and I answered at one point. I said, hey buddy, I'm not and he blew up and hung up on me. And so he called me late this morning, and he said, man, I'm sorry about that. He said, I get up at 3:30 in the morning. I drive to Anchorage. There's only one road. The roads are slick. Traffic was terrible. The house was a mess. The kids were fighting. The wife wouldn't cook dinner. It was just a bad day. But I am interested in what you guys have to offer. And I said, well, let's reset the appointment. Let's reset everything, and we'll just start over again. And he's like, more than happy to do that. So we're meeting with him at noon on Saturday. So never give up. It don't always go perfect, but that doesn't mean that you can't keep on plugging and trying. And just recently, I don't know, some of you guys on the group chat probably saw a pretty big sale that Tosh and I did. I do believe he was the 4th phone call I made, and just now finally came to fruition. So you just never know. Keep a positive attitude, be genuine. Am I getting close?
You're close.
All right, I'm gonna end this thing here pretty soon. I am privileged to be a part of Common Sense Financial, and I appreciate all of the kind words that everybody has given me. I really encourage you to make the commitment, make the decision, whatever it takes is your new motto. And don't be afraid to fail forward and go make this happen. Make your dreams come true. Set them big. It's just like when we used to hunt sheep back when I was substantially younger. We would set goals, climbing a mountain, my brother and I, and we got a huge pack on our back with 14 days of supplies in it and going up a cliff. And we'd look at each other and say, all right, you see that rock up there, or that bush, or that shadow, or whatever it is? And we'd be like, that's where we're going. And we called it setting achievable goals. And it might be 50 yards, it might be 20 feet. And then we reward ourselves. We sit down, we have a drink of water, tell a joke or two, and set achievable goals, make this thing happen. I love being part of this family. Thank you for having me tonight. I hope you got something out of this. And I look forward to seeing all of you in Las Vegas. Are we still there?
I think we're still on.
Am I done?
Awesome. Are you? Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Oh, they disappeared.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Well, you guys, that was awesome. And first, I want to be congratulations, news partners. That's awesome. So I do have a quick video I want to share here just before we end. Swap this over.
Not you, right? While he's getting it ready, I just want to share the best part of me, and that's that sweet, beautiful woman sitting right back there. And her name is Christy with a K and an I. And I can tell you right now, without even starting, the only reason I'm going to be successful in this is because of that lady.
You're right, you're right. You're right.
Okay. We ready, Kim? You tell me when.
I don't know how to get out of this. Thing that he had set up, I don't know if it's from up there.
Yep. This isn't Cameron's specialty. The specialty is getting an 84 on the test.
But it's on.
I'm asking.
So why
Yes.
Rod's not allowed to leave. Sounds like they can hear us. At least that's what the chat's saying.
Well, you can just play it without video.
Yeah, it can just be audio,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Well, it'll,
Well,
I'm gonna hit play unless the camera tells me otherwise.
Go for it.
There you go. We're not getting any audio,
oh boy.
so that may not,
Play it out of your computer.
you're in the background, I can hear it probably.
Are you plugged in on your computer?
Yeah, I was.
Online's not gonna hear it.
Yeah.
You can just turn it around and let us see it while it plays on your computer, that'll work.
No, I was plugged into the same one.
1 second, let me get.
I don't know when technology works great, but also when it doesn't.
Go to your speakers.
Huh?
Your speaker.
You plugged into the braided one?
The same one that the other computer was plugged into.
Is it braided?
No,
Use the braided one.
use the braided one.
Use the braided one for me.
Is the other end plugged in right? Done?
Yeah, yeah, it should be. Tell me when you're ready, Kim.
We're not seeing.
We don't have anything on the screen.
There you go. No,
Still no.
there's an echo
Now
now.
you're.
Yeah, there's an echo.
That's narrated.
Rod's not allowed to leave.
You said to act it out instead of.
Next time.
Let's just try this.
Hey, this is Ron. Do I still have control of this thing? Because I don't know. I don't know how to give it back to you.
Huh? I'd say he probably does,
Gary,
yeah.
take the host away.
Yeah,
It's like.
take host back, Kim.
That's what it is.
Maybe that'll work. That's
How,
funny.
how do I give up this?
Oh, that's so awesome.
I don't know how to get rid of this.
Oh, they took the whole thing off of you.
Oh, there we go. All right, I'm muting.
That's awesome. Okay, now that he's no longer host. Yeah, I might try to plug and
Is
see.
the projector on?
Yeah, I was just unplugged from it.
Try it.
Oh, now my computer's being weird.
Okay, I don't like this.
Oh. What's going on?
I like the car at least.
Yeah, it's way cool.
Yeah, that's the car I'll have in the future. I don't know why that's that. When? Give me 3 to 5 years.
Is it 3 or 5?
Give me 5.
Why not 3?
Still not. Because I gotta get a house first, Troy. I gotta get the dream house first.
Did he mute the projector?
Yes.
Try to mute the projector. It's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be the best 3 minutes of your life, I promise.
I doubt it.
I said, tell me what Adidas stands for. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
When I look at people, I always ask the question. I said, man, tell me what Nike stands for. They said, oh, ain't that's easy, just do it. I said, tell me what Adidas stands for. Oh, ain't that's easy, man, impossible is something. I said, now tell me what you stand for. When people look at you, do they think excuses? When people look at you, do they think victory? When people look at you, do they think that's a person that's going to give me everything they got? Not on some days, but on every day. And it's not going to be predicated upon if I feel like it, because I think we all know if we only worked through the days we felt like it, none of us would get much accomplished. I'm talking about the real level of commitment. Not the commitment that falls in line if everything goes right. I'm speaking of the commitment that says, I am going to stay true to what I said I would do long after the move that I've set in this life. See, most people, ladies and gentlemen, are stoppable. Most people, all you have to do is tell them no. All you have to do is make it inconvenient for them. All you have to do is make it difficult for them, and they'll stop. See, when you go to get your goal, don't think that all you have to do is think positive and everything's going to work out okie-dokie for you. When you go to get your goals, you are sending a telegram to Berkeley's Law to visit you personally. You thought you was just going to have a dream and a goal, and you was just going to wake up and just walk into the sunset. You're like, dream, move. It don't work like that. You have a dream, and then life prompts you. Life prompts you and say, do you really want this? You're going to lose friends. Do you really want this? Do you really want this? Confidence going to abandon you. People that you used to be like this with don't think you bougie, don't want to deal with you. It's a part out there, but I'm paying too much. If I was going to quit, I would have quit at the very beginning, but I wanted to commit suicide and take my life. I should have quit when I heard my voice say, your mama don't want you, your daddy don't want you, take your life. I got through that, so I'm going to quit it from after the grave. Come on. That's what I'm telling you all. You have come too far to quit now. You have invested too much to quit now. You have lost too much to quit now. Don't cry about it. Don't whine about it. Get a report for your pain. And so by being committed to everything that I started, I finished it. It built a certain type of spirit. It built a certain type of mentality. It built a certain type of individual. And so now I couldn't quit even if I wanted to. I couldn't stop even if I wanted to. I had too much equity in my life and everything I was doing. Too close to quit. You gotta take another lap. You gotta take another lap. Because you never know. This might be the one. You can't stop because you're tired. You can't stop because you got your feelings hurt. You gotta take another look. Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. You're gonna make it. You're gonna do it. You got an unstoppable fire. Go and take another look. Don't you stop. Go. Stop. Walking.
Awesome. I love that audio because there's a few things in there that are just so powerful that I wanted to point out. One of the things at the beginning that Inky Johnson talks about, if you don't know who Inky Johnson is, he's a college football player who's had an incredible life outside of college football after getting injured and almost killed on the field. But one of the things I loved about what he says there's going to be times when, and most of the time when you have the motivation to go do something and then the time comes to go do it, that motivation is usually gone. It's usually the next day or something like that, or that motivation gone. You have to do the thing that you promised yourself you were going to do, even after the mood that you set it in is gone. Right? I love that. I think that's so powerful. That it just talks about, it's just pushing yourself no matter what. If you made a promise to yourself and the people around you with the things you're going to do, go do it regardless of how you feel. Go do regardless of what it takes or how you're feeling at that moment. Because that motivation's there when you watch a video like that. Come tomorrow morning, that motivation may not be there, but you still have to go do the things that you promised yourself you're going to go do. Right. The other thing I love that he talks about is the lack of no quitting. Right. Eric Thomas talks about. He's like, you've gone through so much stuff in your life that there's no point in quitting now. You have no reason to quit now. You've gone through too much to quit now. To sacrifice everything. He talks about you make that decision to go for something big in your life, and that's when life's going to hit you with all the crap. Right. Anytime you make that decision in your life, that's when everything in life comes out. You just say, hey, how serious are you about this decision you just made? And that's when you have to just push through, keep going, don't quit. Because if you quit, guess what? You're never going to get yourself out of the situation you're in. It's just going to suck the rest of your life. But if you keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing, you'll pull yourself out of the crap. So keep going, set some big dreams and goals.
They want to know where you found that video.
We'll
I
send it
don't
in the
remember.
chat.
We'll make sure it gets sent out. The partners will send it to those that want it. I think it was YouTube. I've come too far to quit. Something like that is where I think I downloaded that video. But yeah, it's a great video, great way to get yourself motivated. But remember, just keep the promises that you made to yourself in those moments you're making those goals. Make some big goals, shoot for the sky, and keep those promises.
I love that part where he says, when you make that commitment, life's going to punk you, right?
Yeah.
How many people say, oh, I guess it wasn't for me. I wasn't meant for this, so I may go another direction. That's exactly what you have to expect is going to happen. So when it happens, that's when you push through and say, yes, I am meant for this. I got to keep going.
Yep. Exactly. Just like Rohn talked about, he's one of his first 5 phone calls or whatever it was. He had these 3 of them were no's, right? You don't just quit and say, oh, I guess it's not for me. 3 people are not interested, so I guess it's not my thing, right? Look where he is now because he pushed through, right? He said, sky's the limit. So keep going. Guys are doing great. Keep pushing, and we'll end it there. Thanks.